Without question, one of the biggest stories of the day, Justice Stephen Breyer deciding to step down from the Supreme Court. Of course, now all eyes will be on President Biden to see who he nominates and can he get that nomination pushed through quickly before the midterms. Greg Isaac's always here to join us. And Greg, great to have you with us, my friend.
It's good to be here, Bo.
Let's talk about this. Judge Breyer making that announcement today. Your thoughts on when you heard this?
Well, the October term for the Supreme Court has been packed with high-profile cases and decisions that have been made and are to come. Now, a complete surprise. A high-profile justice, Stephen Breyer, announces his retirement, one of the holdover liberal justices, and now you're going to see where politics and the law collide because there's going to be scrambling to fill his seat with someone that is ideological similar. It's going to be interesting to watch, Bo.
Yeah, it really will. Of course, Breyer appointed by Clinton back in the 90s. We saw with President Trump, he had the opportunity to put who he wanted on the Supreme Court when openings arose. Now this is Biden's opportunity.
It's his, and you know, it's really interesting to hear because both sides say that they're not going to have a litmus test, and the justices, when they're interviewed, say they're going to be fair and open, follow the court. But you can always kind of track by their prior decisions where they're going to go. Breyer, in his tenure on the court, spanning nearly three decades, the majority opinion he wrote in decisions involving abortion, the census, outspoken against the death penalty.
Right.
So now Biden, when you have the uncertainty of the midterms, has got to try to come up with a nominee that can navigate through political deadlock.
And what will be interesting here is, if you recall, during the campaign trail, President Biden made the comment that if he had this opportunity, he would nominate an African-American woman. So now you're going to have to look at the field there, and there are some very credible judges there that he could pull from. But again, he did make that promise. A lot of people who supported him are going to be watching to see if he follows through with that.
Yeah, the president has kind of tied his hands when he already said, you know, has limited the pool of applicants he's going to decide. But the interesting thing is, all right, it's the president's right to make the appointment, but can you get it through a deadlocked Congress? So that's going to be very interesting because, you know, what we want is a justice that's going to be fair, is going to uphold the Constitution, because we have landmark, life-changing decisions that are being made day after day by this activist Supreme Court. You know, this Justice Breyer was not an originalist. He thought that there should be certain mores and folkways that should be followed. So Biden is going to be interesting. Does he look for a conservative that has a liberal bent in trying to fill this position? So
really
walk us through real quick
the process for people that don't know how this all plays out.
Obviously, there's a vetting process.
Sure.
The White House goes through, and what you do is you carefully look at the decisions of the potential applicant. And that's very important. They scrutinize every opinion, every word, whether it's a district court judge, whether it's an appellate judge. A lot of times what they try to do is game the appointment process, and instead of finding somebody with a legacy or body of work, finding someone that does not have that many opinions that can be shot down. Then there's an interview process. Then here's where the fireworks start, the confirmation hearing. But it will be really interesting, and Breyer, out of the blue, decides to retire, and Biden's going to have his hand full, not that he doesn't have enough on his plate as we speak this afternoon.
Yeah, we'll have to see how this plays out. Again, the midterms just around the corner. Greg, as always, thank you.
Pleasure to be here.
If you have a legal question, you can always send it Greg's way, and of course we'll see if he can clear it up for you. Just email AskIsaacs@WAT.com, and remember, we have Greg on for Ask Isaacs every Wednesday at 5:30 right here on WAT 6 on your side.